Welcome back, everybody. You're looking at the bracket for the State A Boys Basketball Tournament that tips tomorrow at the Bismarck Events Center. Number one seed is Kindred. The Vikings, who were the runners-up last year, will get Beulah to start the night session. Thompson and Kildare in the bottom of the bracket. Devils Lake is the reigning champs. They're back. They'll face Delax Burlington, Shiloh Christian, and Wahpeton. We talked with Huskies head coach Jeff Ralph yesterday. Going to be a dynamite field. It all begins tomorrow. And Kindred is back, as we mentioned, at the state tournament after a dynamite year. They lost one game. They were unbeaten against North Dakota opponents, and they hope that record remains intact over the next 3 days. Our pleasure to welcome back to the show Vikings head coach Brad Woehl joins us here before the team departs for the capital city. All right, it's the day before the day. What are the emotions like today before heading out to Bismarck?
Well, I know I'm excited, and I know my boys are going to be excited to go to Bismarck. Like we said before we came on the air, we've been to Minot, we've been to the Fargo Dome. Now Bismarck's a little different environment, different arena, so hopefully we get comfortable in there real quick.
I know you've been asked a ton. Heck, I asked you about this the last time you were on the show about dealing with last year, and I know it's a full calendar year ago. Is that present in the guys' minds of what happened at the end of last season?
I think that was a motivating force for us this year. I don't think we really talked a lot about it, but these kids, like I've said before, they're pretty self-motivated. They know what type of team they are. They know what type of goals they have in mind, and they're very goal-orientated. So I think that was a motivational force for us this year.
Where did you get a sense? Was that unspoken? You mentioned it, you didn't have to say much. Was that an unspoken thing with the guys about what happened at the end of last season?
Well, I did ask the captains about it, and they have a group chat messaging going on that they talk a lot about it. And we got good leadership, so you know that was something that was talked within the players. Yes, the coaches have talked about it as well. So it motivated both the players and the coaching staff as well.
I know anytime Kindred plays any sport, there's a target on the Vikings' back, but have you felt a bigger one this year in basketball? Like, oh, we got to get these guys. They're the ones. They got Division I guys playing. Have you felt that each time on the floor?
Well, that is a message that we talk about to the kids, that every night we step on the floor, we know that we're going to get the other team's best shot every single night. And I think they've embraced that, and they know what the expectations are in our program and what we're up against.
The dealing with that, for 16, 17, 18-year-old kids, how difficult is that? Knowing, hey, if we don't play, we have to play our absolute best, or this team's going to beat us.
Yeah, it certainly can be a challenge, but you know, I credit our leadership and our veteran group. They have played in a lot of big games, not only on the basketball court, but on the football field, and a lot of them run track and baseball. So we talk about success kind of across the board, which I think has really helped this team thrive.
Brad, tell us about going through the regional tournament at the Shack last week and taking care of Central Cass and Wahpeton. And we had Jeff Ralph on the show yesterday. That's, expectations were you guys were to win it, but it's another thing, you still got to go and do it.
Yeah, the regional tournament was definitely a good test for us. We played Central Cass. It seems like we play them every year in the regional tournament. I think it was the last 8 years we've played them. We got off to a big lead and kind of got a little complacent and careless with the basketball. But we finished, I thought, pretty strong in the second half and kind of pulled away. Wahpeton in the championship game. I thought their 3 overtime game against Northern Cass in the semis, I think, took kind of a lot out of them. With their legs and physically. It can also be a mental thing, as well. So, and I thought we really defended well. We only gave up 40 points in that game. So I was really proud of the effort of the guys.
The 8 teams that made it, Brad, to Bismarck, is that what you expected? Is there any surprises, I guess, is maybe the better way to ask that, of the 8 that have made it?
Well, I think if you look at the preseason polls, a lot of these teams that are at the state in Bismarck. We're kind of projected to be kind of your front runners to be at state. I guess the only team in the field that we haven't played is Delax Burlington. Um, but I've seen them on film. They're a really good team. They got a good point guard and a good big guy. So they could potentially give Devils Lake some problems.
You played this Beulah team you're facing back at the end of January, which probably seems like 6 years ago. What do you remember about that, and how much is that applicable for the game tomorrow?
Well, I think you're a little bit familiar with them. Yes, it was the end of January when we played them. The Sherrado boys are a real tough guard for us. The one had 31, the young one had 16. So they're really perimeter orientated. They were 10 of 26 from the 3-point line. And it was a real close game at halftime. I believe we were up by 4 or 6 points, and then eventually we pulled away in the second half.
How different are they when you see them on tape now from what you saw there at the end of January? Are those Beulah pretty similar from what you saw?
Well, I think there's some, similar characteristics, but I think they're playing a little bit more team orientated. The older Sherrado is really good at setting guys up under the basket. He's not just a spot up 3-point shooter. He can put it on the floor too and create and get his teammates involved. So he can be a tough guard at times.
All right, so you've got the normal quote unquote start time, 6:30. There's a bunch of Kindred fans that are going to come and watch you play. Expectations now of dealing. Okay, here we are. You made it to state. Now expectations are to win these 3 games. How do you handle that, or does that even need to be a conversation before you get in the bus to go to Bismarck today?
Well, in our program, it's always you're only as good as your next game, and our next opponent is Beulah. So we're taking it one game at a time, and we're focusing on Beulah Thursday night, and we'll see how the other quarterfinal goes between Kildare and Thompson, and we'll be ready for whoever's there to challenge us.
You mentioned you haven't played in Bismarck. I know you've been out there for the guys to experience the Civic Center. What do you tell them about what? Because personally, I think it's the best place to have a state tournament. What do you tell them about what they're getting ready to get into tomorrow night?
Well, I did tell them it's the best facility to play basketball in, and I think the guys are really excited about it. Like we said, we've been at the Fargo Dome, we've been at the Minot State Dome. Both are good facilities, but everybody wants to play in Bismarck, so we're definitely looking forward to it.
This field, you've got athletes, excuse me, all over the place. Describe that of the level of talent that's going to be on display here at the Class A this weekend, not just with your team, but the other 7 as well.
Yeah, it's a real talented field. I think it kind of shows kind of the upward trajectory in regards to skill and talent that we have in our state. There's going to be a number of athletes on the floor that are going to go play at the next level. So all these guys have definitely worked on their games and improved their games over the course of their career.
How much you have to keep the guys saying, hey, we know Devil's Lake is there. Just can't worry about that. We got to win 2 games. They got to win before we can even think about that. Because they're high schoolers, Brad. They got to see it. We see it. You can't ignore it. How do you handle that?
Well, I think I've said this before. It's, one game at a time. At this time of year, anybody can beat anybody, really. It's our record is 0-0. That's kind of the mentality and the approach that we're going to take going into Thursday night versus Beulah.
Tell me about, I remember we visited when you made it in 21, when you guys won it that year, when you beat, and that 4 wins game, I still remember that semifinal was just unbelievable. To lay the groundwork of this, it's been a slow climb, and now here you are consistently getting to state, consistently being at the top. You've been there the entire time. How proud, I know you want to talk about the kids, how proud are you of what you've been able to do, that you've been here for the entire time and laid the groundwork for now what's been an amazing basketball program?
Well, I can't be more proud of our guys. I've said each team that has qualified for state, they're a little unique, in their own right. But players have bought into what we wanted to do, and they've worked hard. They dedicated a lot of time in the off season. And also was once told, always support yourself with good people on your coaching staff. And I believe I have a really good coaching staff, and they deserve a lot of credit along with the players.
Give us a couple guys. I mean, we know Carson Osteen, we know Baco, we know Stars. Is there a guy that maybe, hey, we're not talking about enough on your team? Say, look, this guy can be really, really good this weekend. Peraza.
I do. I think you can look for Luke Starcevic.
Okay.
Hopefully have a good tournament for us. He comes off the bench. He's our sixth man. He pretty much plays starter minutes for us. Obviously provides a lot of size for us inside, a physical presence inside. Also Gabe Whipple, he's our seventh man. He's shooting close to 50% from 3-point range. He's our first perimeter guy off the bench, so we're hoping big things from those two guys.
Starcevic, he's got some agility besides the football field, huh?
Absolutely. I think kids that are being recruited at the D1 level for football, I think those coaches really want to see them on the basketball floor, just for the simple fact of checking out their footwork and how they move on the court. I think that's important.
It's great to catch up. I know you're a busy man. You got to get on the bus here soon. Thanks so much for doing this. Safe travels to Bismarck, and good luck this weekend, okay?
Thanks, Dom. I appreciate it.
Great to see you, bud. There he goes. Brad Woehl, head coach of the Kindred Vikings, the #1 seed at the State A boys basketball tournament. They get Beulah coming up tomorrow night. You can see all the games from Bismarck right here on WDAY Extra. The Class B will be on WDAY tomorrow. We'll give you the full TV knowledge you need to know on that coming up tomorrow on the show. So to make sure you can be able to watch the games, very similar to what we did 2 weeks ago with the girls Class A and B. It'll be similar to what we're doing this weekend with the boys A and B. We're due for a break. Come back. We'll wrap up our first hour. We got Tim Polasek coming up, Bison head football coach. Chat plenty about spring ball and a couple other topics want to hit with the head ball coach coming up at 10 o'clock. Back on a Wednesday morning edition of Hot Mike right after this.